Hey everyone, Michael back today to talk about starting a winery, specifically some of the common costs involved in doing so. Artisanal beverages are a consistently growing industry. Increasing momentum among consumers of locally sourced food and farm-to-table eating and drinking has opened up many opportunities for many types of cultivators, brewmasters, and vintners. Alongside the increasing demand for local wine is the desire to sit and have a drink on site. In fact, more than ever, wineries are booked out years ahead of time for weddings and other celebrations. And even on days when there are no special events scheduled, people still flock to wineries for their beautiful settings and great wine. So opening a winery can certainly be a profitable enterprise if done well. They can be highly profitable and rewarding operations to run. But how much does it really cost to open a winery? Typically, you can expect to pay between several $100,000 and several $1 million to open a winery, depending on many factors. Sorry, it's not cheap, but if you can get over the sticker shock, check out the rest of the video to learn more about the cost of starting a winery business and learn if it's the right fit for you. Before you get started, there's some essential choices to make about what kind of operation you want to run. First, will you grow your own grapes or source them from another producer? Second, will you ferment and bottle the wine yourself or outsource that? And finally, will you have a tasting room or bar or restaurant? These questions will have a big impact on your startup and overhead costs. The first major cost will be your startup costs. Cultivating wine grapes demands specific climate and soil criteria. Most places are simply not suitable for good winemaking. Thus, finding a location that offers the right environment to grow great vines is no easy task. Most winemaking grapes generally enjoy rocky, sloping soil with good drainage. They also prefer to be on a southward-facing slope to soak up as much of the sun as possible. However, each varietal has different environments that should be investigated and considered before deciding on what to grow and where. As you can imagine, property owners in regions with proper climate and soil are aware of the value of their land for potential winery entrepreneurs. Hence, vineyard-ready land will cost you at least $35,000 an acre for something high quality. Considering that you need about 20 acres of land to be a profitable vineyard, you're looking at $700,000 in real estate at the bare minimum. Now, you might be saying that's already more than the low end of the cost spectrum that I gave you earlier. But you don't necessarily need your own vineyard. A fair amount of wineries will actually find it advantageous to outsource all or a portion of their grape production. Some of these wineries operate in areas that are unsuitable to grow grapes, or at least only a select few varietals. For example, they might be located in places where winters are too cold or the soil is too wet. To compensate, these businesses will choose to purchase their grapes from another vineyard and then ferment and bottle on their site. Other wineries will grow what they can on site and then supplement their needs by purchasing from other producers. The costs associated with purchasing vineyard-ready acreage will be eliminated with this type of winery. However, operators will have to work out contracts with other growers, which will cost them about $1,000 to $4,000 per ton of grapes, depending on the varietal and location. You also need to think about your tasting room. Structurally, there is a lot of variation available if you plan on building a place to have customers hang out and taste wine. Do you want a freestanding structure where you simply pour drinks? Or do you want to install a full commercial kitchen adjacent to the tasting room? The popularity of vineyards as locations for events such as weddings is worth considering for increased long-term marketability and profitability. Nonetheless, this type of endeavor will require an additional significant amount of capital. For basic structures without a kitchen, you can expect to spend anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. However, structures with the capacity to cook and furnish for formal events will require a larger investment, typically $500,000 to over $1 million. If you do decide to purchase an area to run a vineyard, you must outfit the land with extensive grape growing infrastructure too. First, you need to install the trellises, which are the wooden structures that hold up the plants. Then you have to actually purchase and plant the vines. Finally, the vines must be protected with fencing to keep hungry mammals away from the fruit. Labor costs are some of the biggest expenses in this part of building a vineyard. One Virginia viticulture specialist estimated that in his state, the price of building out your cultivation infrastructure will be about $22,000 an acre. Though this number fluctuates significantly based on location, it'll be expensive regardless. Even at the lower end of the scale, this will cost almost $500,000 for a 20-acre vineyard. Your winery will also need to apply and pay for a basic business permit, food production license, and a liquor license. Fortunately, these permits are not too heavy of a financial burden compared to other industries, such as cannabis. In fact, at the federal level, your permit does not require any payment at all. State business licensing will cost you a couple $100s. In addition, depending on what kind of operation you run and licensing you apply for, some states will require you to complete a food production application permit. This will also cost several $100s. Finally, states have liquor license permits. These are the most costly of all license fees and will generally be assessed on a sliding scale based on the amount of volume the winery does. For small production vineyards, these permits will only cost $100 to $200. However, for larger operations, these annual fees can amount to over $1,000. Equipment is another major item to consider. It's not as simple as crushing the grapes by stomping on them and then leaving them in a barrel. Taking ripe fruit and turning it into wine requires expensive machinery, science, and labor. Your winery will have to purchase or rent equipment such as crushers, stemmers, fermentation tanks, and filtration systems. Investing in quality machines requires substantial capital. Nevertheless, these types of expenditures will pay dividends in the future since they ensure optimized efficiency and increased product quality. Wine production hardware for a 20-acre vineyard will cost approximately $200,000 on the lower end and could go all the way up to $1 million. There are ongoing costs too. Once fully operational, operating costs will continue like any business. Remember that building vineyard infrastructure requires constant upkeep. You'll need to monitor pest control and weeding. Once the grapes are ready to be picked, you must have cutters and sorters ready to harvest your grapes. And don't forget about hiring staff to work your retail shop, operate your production machinery, and work in the tasting room and kitchen. Making great wine is certainly the keystone of a successful winery. Still, you'll need to promote your business through multiple channels that people are aware of your presence. The first step here is to work on your local SEO like Google Maps and Google Business so that you are searchable for people who want to visit your winery. Next, consider advertising on social media where you can target local audiences and wine drinkers. Some of this work can be done in-house, while bigger operations often choose to outsource this to a marketing agency. Lastly, modern software is another added cost of starting a winery. Corona POS is consistently ranked as one of the top winery point-of-sale systems in the country. Our software works seamlessly for all of your verticals, whether you run just a wine retail shop or a bigger venue with a tasting room, restaurant, or even ticketed events. Tailor your tickets and promotions to individual tiers like VIP wine flights or specific time slots for happy hour. Our built-in sales and inventory analytics deliver actionable insights about guest purchase history, allowing you to perfectly tailor your marketing campaigns. Keep your customers coming back with CRM and loyalty programs so that they can earn digital rewards towards free bottles, and so you can automate your wine club. Give us a call today to learn more about the fastest, most reliable, and competitively priced winery POS system on the market. Click the link in the description to learn more too, and thanks for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one.